Shalom, Kol Haloyim, Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim Rachakwadash, Shanya Kabad, Gadwala Requab, Zaquanyim Nawa, Wa Shalayakim Nawa, and that's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalawam, Waparakim, Labakarim, Shalayasharala, and that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. So really quickly, I wanted to bring out this article. Esau Edom he's trying to block out the sun. He's claimed that he's gone to the MOON, just trying to be very safe with my words. And now this man is trying to dig as far deep underground as he can. And I'm sure a lot of you that are learned know where I'm taking this video. So it says, company plans to dig world's deepest hole to unleash boundless energy. And I don't care about the reason of what they're going to show in our faces of why they want to do this. At the end of the day, this man, Esau Edom, he's mad, he's angry, he's upset that we have the blessing that we have as Yashar Allah, as the true sons of God. And he well understands that his time is running out, it's running thin, and that he has a temporary blessing to rule the world right now for this short time period. And he's doing all that he can, anything that's in his power, the power of his hands, to keep his blessing for as long as he can. But it's not going to work. So right now, of course, this startup, Quaise Energy, it says, has raised $63 million in funding to tap Earth's deep subterranean power. Right? So it's all for power, but at the end of the day, we know as prophets that this man is just trying to keep his blessing. Because really quickly, before I read a little bit of the article, obviously jumping to Jeremiah 31. Now the point is in 37, but I'll start reading at 35. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon, and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith the Lord," verse 37, "if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath." That's what this man is trying to do now. He's done everything else. He's tried to land on the MOON. And there's been articles about, I think for the past few years now, about how he's been trying to block the sun. As a matter of fact, I think it was either Esau Edom or maybe that was a project by Moab. Either way. But now this man is trying to dig the deepest hole underground. And here's a verse, here's a phrase. In verse 37, it says, "And the foundations of the earth searched out beneath. I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord." And Esau Edom understands this precept right here. This man reads the scriptures. He has his so-called scholars that read through the Bible and try to interpret it. And they've come across this verse right here. So this man is trying to do anything that he can in order to get rid of us as a nation so that his power can continue to be ruling. So he can continue to be ruling in power, I should have said. What I want to do quickly before I jump back to that article is I want to read this in the NLT because I like one word that it says. The NLT says, "This is what the Lord says. Just as the heavens cannot," and that's the word, "just as the heavens cannot be measured, and the foundations of the earth cannot be explored, so I will not consider casting them away," the nation of Israel, "for the evil that they have done. For the evil they have done, I, the Lord, have spoken." And so this is a rhetorical kind of statement, because Esau Edom hasn't been given the power. He hasn't been given the ability, the access to search out the heavens above, to go down deep in the earth at its core, or wherever they're trying to go, the subterranean. And I'm sure there's even deeper than that. But this man is trying to do it, and he hasn't been given that access. So it's kind of rhetorical, and I like how it's worded here in the NLT. Just as the heavens cannot be measured. Now they will be. They will be soon by the nation of Israel once we're in our perfected form, when Yahushua returns and our bodies have been changed to the glorious state, having those extraterrestrial bodies, I'll just say. We'll be able to explore the heavens and the heavens of the heavens, if you will, the outer space and everything, all the different planets. That's a part of our blessing as a nation of Yasharallah, the true nation of Yasharallah. Now, I want to read a little bit of this article, then we'll jump back and grab a few more precepts. It says, a company that plans to drill deeper into earth than ever before, creating holes, that would extend a record-shattering 12 miles under our planet's surface, has raised a total of $63 million since its launch in 2020. Most recently, Quaise Energy, a startup that aims to revolutionize the geothermal energy market. And it's always some new startup. It's always some startup that's doing something that relates to the scriptures. As an example, I forget the name of it, but it's a startup over there in London, I believe, that has this microchip, I'll just say it, that's apparently more advanced than Elon Musk's Neuralink, than the chip that he's creating under Neuralink. But now they have some chip basically over there in London that can basically be administered at any scanner, they're saying. At any scanner in any store, they're saying it works. They have it already created. So yeah, buy or sell. It's the CHIP, the Charagma, Revelation 13. But it's always some new startup. It's always some new startup because Esau is trying to do anything that he can in order to keep his blessing, in order to make sure that he continues to reign here on earth. But it's not going to work. So continuing on, it says, right, so they secured $40 million in Series A funding in February, reports Axios. The goal of these super deep holes is to access a limitless amount of renewable energy from the heat deep inside the earth. Sure. And I'm not going to get all deep into this. If you want to get nerdy and read it, I kind of like stuff like this, so I'll probably read a little bit more of it, to be honest with you. Back in the day, I'll just say before I came into this truth, my friends and I have an entrepreneur background. We were working on this generator that could create, just sustain energy by itself. I'll just word it that way. So stuff like this is definitely interesting to me. If it's interesting to you as well, once again, here is the title. Company plans to dig world's deepest hole to unleash boundless energy. Get all nerdy into it. Read it if you want. I'm going to jump over here to the book of Revelation, not 13, but Revelation, 12. And 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this man is doing all that he can in order to keep his blessing. But eventually, he's going to understand that his time is running very thin and is going to come down like the devil that he is. And this is synonymous, with the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to happen before the destruction of Babylon the Great. There is a timeline of prophecy. There is an order in which these prophecies are going to be fulfilled. But it's not going to work. Everything that Esau, Edom is striving to do is going to be basically put down by the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This is the book of Job. Let me just think. The first one that's coming in my head is Job 21. Let me think. Okay. All right, that's a good one. Not the one I was thinking of, but it works still. Job 21, verse 30. It says, verse 29 reads, "Have ye not asked them that go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath." The wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. And that's 2/3 of our people out of the nation of Israel. And that's also the wicked, which is known as Esau Edom. He is reserved to a specific day. Let's look up that word reserved. I've never looked that word up. Let's see what it says in the Hebrew. That the wicked is reserved. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Here we go. Man. What's going on? Give me 1 sec. Let's try this again. All right. Reserved. And we have a Hasak. Oh, no. Hashak. Yep. That's Hashak. Okay, and it says to withhold, restrain, hold back, keep in check. The Most High is keeping Esau Edom in check, keeping his man in check, keeping him in line. Refrain, to withhold, keep back, keep for oneself. And that's the point right there. And Salakia, if that's, now that I'm thinking about it, that's either Hashak or Hashak. Either Hashak or Hashak. Salaki about that. Gotta refresh my mind on the Ha versus the Ha. But yeah, so basically Esau Edom is being reserved unto the day of destruction. The Lord is keeping him in line, keeping him in check. He has bounds that he cannot pass. That's kind of what I was looking for, actually. Let me see. Let's see if that word bounds is actually there. Yep, that's it. Job 14. Let me highlight that to make it easier to see. Starting at verse 4, Job 14 and 4. "Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds, that he cannot pass." Thou hast appointed his bounds, that he cannot pass. And Esau knows this. He knows it. He just doesn't want to admit it. You see, the top elites, they understand certain scriptures. Not everything, but they understand certain things. Like I said, they have their witches and so on and so forth that read the scriptures and they perform their little rituals and, have their little demonic ways about them. And they know that they have a temporary blessing, but you see, the Most High is putting a spirit on them where they are going to truly try and think that they can upset prophecy. That's what Esau is trying to do. He thinks that he can upset prophecy. What a wicked devil he is. To even fathom that. But the Most High is putting that spirit on him, just like the Most High put the spirit on Pharaoh to keep us in captivity. And Moses kept going back and forth to him, and then more and more plagues kept happening to ancient Egypt. The same thing is happening right now. The Most High is hardening the hearts, aka the minds, of these top elites to truly think that they can not only upset prophecy, but to even come against Yahweh Shai when he returns. Right? And that 2nd Ezra, I believe the 13th chapter talks about that. But that's the point. That's what I wanted to bring out right there. And that's all the precepts that I had, just kind of flowing in the spirit after Jeremiah. But I pray that this was edifying To the elect, call Halonyam Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakwadash, the belongers to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.